Hey guys, it's Brittany from Rebel Fire Productions here doing a documentary. Can you guys introduce yourselves and state your ages?
Hello, I'm Chris. I am 23 years old.
Hi, I'm Jesse, and I'm 21 years old.
My name is Dave, and I'm 23 years old.
My name is Dylan, and I'm also 21 years old.
What year did you start playing in the band?
Okay. I started playing in the band in 2010 when I was in 11th grade, so I was like 17. Jesse.
I've been in the band since 2009. My younger brother Nick, who is not with us right now, unfortunately, and our cousin actually started the band, and then we slowly built into what we are today. So,
Yeah, I joined when Chris joined. It was actually, I was in science class, and the vocalist of the band at the time asked me if I could play bass. And I said yes, so I joined the band as a bassist originally, and now I'm a lead singer, so...
I joined the band in 2010. I was in another crappy band, and I had band class with Chris where he played the trumpet. And we started laughing about dumb stuff, and I joined the band in like late 2010, I think.
How has being in a band changed from that time?
Okay. Well, we started off as super heavy, like bang your head and just play as loud and like heavy as you could, basically. We still play pretty loud, but since then I've really grown as a musician. I've practiced guitar a little bit more than I did before, so it's definitely changed in a like stylistic aspect for me, I'd say.
yeah, for me personally, it's actually shown me a lot of humility. It's shown me that we started out and we were like this really young band, and we were super, super heavy compared to like a lot of other bands around our age. And we thought we were really, really good, and then seeing other bands that were way beyond us, it's taught me a lot of humility. There's different aspects to even the same scene, and it's also taught me to appreciate like the little differences that you can see from band to band.
So definitely the band as a whole has changed tremendously since we originally started. I mean, I remember in the past our writing processes were from anywhere to 15 minutes to 4 hours long, and now we've really consolidated on what we want our sound to be and what we want to get across as far as a message when it comes to our music. So definitely the idea of more than just playing good music but actually having something to say, it's definitely changed a lot since we started.
I think when we were going through high school, metalcore and just heavy music alike was such a huge wave that came across our age group especially. And, we looked to bands like Asking Alexandria and like, Motionless in White and stuff like that for inspiration. And we still love, all those bands. But they've changed a lot too. We've definitely gone a lot more towards like a hard rock, modern rock sound. We're always going to be heavy, I think, but I think, having predominantly singing makes a huge difference in how our music or how our style of music has changed.
How many members have changed since that time, and why?
I guess one person could answer this one, huh? We started, it was myself, Jesse, Dave, and then our drummer, Nick. And then we had a screaming vocalist who's no longer with us. And then I'll tell you that we moved David off bass, and he became our second vocalist, and we got a bass player. And just like some kind of like trust issues and stuff happened, and we ended up kicking the bassist out at one point, and then the guy who was our screamer at one point decided that he wanted to go with him. So From that point on, it's been the 5 of us, and that's probably the best thing that could have ever happened. No hard feelings with the guys that were out of the band. We're actually friends with them now. So, I mean, it was unfortunate how it happened, but hindsight's always 20/20. So it's like the best possible thing that could have ever happened. Sorry, guys.
What is one thing you would want the fans to know that would blow their mind?
Well, me and David have been friends since we were like in diapers and we learned to walk together. So like there's that, and I think that Jesse and Nick have done the same since, you know, they're like brothers and stuff, I guess, something like that. But I guess other than that is that, like we said earlier, we used to be like, I mean, we have music out there now that shows it, but we used to be like so heavy, and now we're like not so heavy, which some people think is a good thing, some people think is a bad thing. We don't really care. We like what we do. So I'm going to pass it on.
Yeah, so he covered the band stuff. I guess something that nobody would ever really expect. Personally, I used to have like terrifying stage fright. Like I could not get up on stage in front of anybody. And like school plays and stuff like that, I literally couldn't even do it. So that's definitely something I guess that would be shocking to me if I heard it from somebody else. I don't know, but that's it.
I didn't know that.
For me, I guess the only thing that's even remotely shocking, I live a very normal life. I actually didn't even start singing until about 7-8 years ago. So like right around the time when the band became a thing is when I actually realized, hey, like I can sing, and tried to take it to the next level. So I guess that's pretty shocking.
One time when I was a young lad, a little Boy Scout, I met David because my dad's friend lived across the street, and I came out on a little skateboard with handlebars. And I thought he was cool. Maybe he thought I was cool. He probably thought I was a loser, but he asked me if I like wanted to skateboard with him, and I was afraid of him. So I just like turned around and like scooted away.
You would try the trick, and then I think I came up to you. I was like, "Yeah, skateboarding's pretty hard, isn't it?"
And I was like,
think you just
yeah,
looked at
it
me
is
and you were
hard.
just like, "Yeah," and like walked away.
I thought that he was way cooler than me, so I just, took my way out and scooted away.
I don't know if any of this stuff is mind-blowing at all. Is there anything else that we can think of that's maybe a little more mind-blowing?
I don't know.
I have something.
Keep it PG. Nick was 13 when we started.
Oh, yeah. Nick was 13. He always used to be the 13-year-old drummer. So I guess that's kind of mind-blowing. Anyways, let's move on.
What is one thing you would change in the industry that would make it better for bands with original music?
I guess I would say it's really hard to get. There's so many bands out there. It's really hard to get noticed, I guess. I mean, I would say just maybe things being a little bit more accessible. Like around where we live right now, we're in Callaway, which is I guess a little bit northern from where we live.
South.
It's south. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, we live in like Charles County. There's nowhere to play original music where we live, so we have to travel, which I mean that's a big part of being in a band. You travel, you play different places, but it's really tough for us to find anywhere. I guess just venues being more accessible, it's really hard for us to even travel and find a place to play because you have to know this person and this person. So I guess I just wish people would be our friends and let us play at their places. No, but yeah, just more access for us to play different places and show our music to people because the internet can only get you so far. It's a huge thing nowadays, and I'm sure it obviously didn't used to be because the internet didn't exist, but that's kind of what I have to say.
Well, Chris stole like everything I was going to say, but I'll just kind of embellish, I guess. So Yeah, kind of. It's really tough to find a spot that they want you to play original music. Like we're in an area that it's a lot of bars, so it's a very, very prominent bar scene. And we do, like cover band stuff on the weekends, typically just to make a little bit of side cash. But that's like it, like around where we're at. There's not a whole lot of like original spots to play at, and it's kind of depressing that that's the case. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I don't really think it's all about just the effort. You just got to really try hard to make it. And if you have the tenacity and the work ethic, I mean, you're going to get there. So, oh, okay, cool.
Nowadays, I think nowadays and I hear people say it, a lot of people have talent. You can't just have talent to be a good band anymore. You have to have the work ethic. So that's nothing that I would change. I always think that we need to work harder. There's never a time where I think that we've worked hard enough to get anything. I think that we still need to work for what we can be and what we hope to be in the future.
So for me, I think the biggest thing that bothers me with the music industry as a whole, not just singling out rock or any certain genre, but the whole facade of image and how, I mean, I've heard completely crappy artists, and I'm a fan of a few rappers, and I mean, some of the stuff that's out there now, it's more about what they look like and the image that they're portraying, rather than actually having any talents or having anything to say, really. So obviously, it helps to be attractive. I mean, people flock to people that they want to be like, but at the end of the day, you have to have something more than just that image. You have to have actually something to say and something to get across, because it's becoming very empty, and it's heartbreaking for someone who has so much to say and no outlet to do it. Watch thousands of people have this huge platform to speak off of and basically make fools of themselves. And so that's really the one thing that I would change, is get rid of the image. Just it's strictly about the music.
Well, like they said, our local area is very unsaturated with places other than bars where people play covers all night, which is cool. But I think what makes it really hard is, like, I can't even count on my hands how many places we used to play at when we first started out that have all shut down. And they're all an hour away. I mean, Baltimore, Springfield, Richmond, there's so many places that have just gone away because, I mean, I guess a lot of it has to do with people going out to shows. They're not bringing in the revenue that they used to. But what makes us hard is all those venues closing down. We have, very limited options of places to play other than traveling, more than 2 hours. There's definitely still spots. I mean, Fillmore is awesome, super hard to get in there. Yeah. But also another thing, a lot of bands stopped going through Maryland. I mean, a lot of people they might go to DC, but for the most part, a lot of people skip Baltimore, Richmond most of the time. They go straight to Pennsylvania or, past us. So I think there's a lot of opportunities we've missed out as far as bands that come on tour that potentially we could open for. I just hope, a venue like Sonar, or a venue like Empire, Jax, another one of those good, solid venues for rock bands to come through opens up and gives people within a 3-hour radius to meet up and play with bands alike. So, I hope that comes to fruition one day.
What's your opinion on cover bands?
We play covers all the time. We opened with we didn't open. We did a soundtrack with a cover, and then we played a Rage Against the Machine song. I think that certain covers are, like, badass. I can say a cuss word, right? Is that okay? I think that certain songs are badass. Like we said, the place that we live around, lots of bars and stuff, so, like, yeah, whatever. We play cover music, and we have fun, and to be honest, it makes us a lot of good money. It gives us some stuff to, it gives us some money to spend.
We recorded a whole EP.
Right. we bought in a lot of stuff for our original music through the cover, so I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. I think sometimes that like people are like, oh god, have to go here. Maybe some people want to come see us and play original music. You know, I wish that we could only do that, but like I said, we make good money. It's not all about the money, but it's nice to have it when you have the opportunity. Another thing about the covers is that not all the time you're playing songs that you like, which is really sucky. I find myself just being like, we have to play this song again, and lots of times I've been like, yeah, we should cut this song, and they're like, oh no, I like that one, and we'll still play it probably, but yeah.
Yeah, so how I think about cover bands is I feel like it's just something that a lot of bands, especially nowadays, have to do to start out with, just to get accustomed to playing shows and stuff like that, and getting used to, just the overall feeling of being on stage and stuff like that. It stinks, honestly. Like, I can personally say I'm not a fan of being part of a cover band, or when we do it, it's just really like empty to me. But I mean, it's something that needs to be done. Something that always, for me, to watch like other cover bands, that always impresses me is when bands can take like a radio hit, like a Bruno Mars song, and make it their own. Like, that to me shows like you understand that you have to put the hard time in and do that, but then at the same time you have musical knowledge and expertise to be able to do that. So I don't know, my overall feeling about it is like, I feel like it's something you have to do. I'm not a huge fan, but I mean, I'm in a cover band too, so I can't really say too much. But yeah, so that's about that.
Okay, so for me as a singer, I have nothing against the covers that we do, and my job is the easiest when it comes to like singing something that someone else already wrote and mapped out for me. That's easy. And for me though, I think that it definitely shows me what I can do and helps me to push my own limits, because if I'm writing something for myself to sing, I'll stay within a certain boundary and kind of, I don't want to push myself too hard and almost embarrass myself. But if I have to sing something that someone else already created, like the way that they did it, it shows me like, wow, I can do something like that. So for us, I can tell that since we started doing covers, we've definitely grown as a band. So my opinion on cover bands is rock on. I'm going to buy 2 more drinks.
Being a cover band definitely isn't our ideal situation. It helps us a lot with a lot of stuff. I mean, we recorded an entire EP funded by, a couple ape hangers, a couple local bar shows. We recorded a music video with all band funds. We bought a PA system. It's definitely helped us out financially, and definitely, I mean, having 40 songs in your back pocket definitely helps you as a musician.
We cover this song.
And even at original shows, I mean, we'll bust out a cover or two if it's like Linkin Park, or like, we just want to kind of engage people with something they know. Cover bands are cool, but it's definitely a lot of fun, but we do it to further our original music for sure.
I have one thing to say. I agree with that last part you said. I think that learning the covers has made me grow as a guitarist, like, so much more, because like like the last show we played cover wise, I stayed up till like 1 a.m. learning the damn solo to Rock You Like a Hurricane by the Scorpions, and I was like, I'm never gonna get this, but I got it, and like it's helped my lead playing a lot, and I'm glad that we do it. I think it's cool to learn covers, and I do think it's cool to be able to play them and be like, wow, I can actually play some hard stuff that people actually have listened to in the past, and like, this is pretty badass stuff, So I think it's cool that we can emulate that, whether it's in our own style or just, doing it verbatim. Yeah. Yep.
Tell us about your band name.
All right. So, if you look up With Lying Eyes on the internet, the first thing that comes up is the Eagles' Lion Eyes, and that is not where we got our name from, and everybody asks me that. We've gotten anything from with flying eyes to with lion eyes, like a little lion, to like with salty fries, and I think that's just a parody. But the real way we got our name was, I was just I like this song by Emery, the band Emery, who we actually got a chance to play with, which is really cool. They have a song called Left with Alibis and Lying Eyes. I just kind of spliced out with Lying Eyes, and we're about to be in Loving Memory. So I'm glad, I guess, that we're not that. Yeah, I don't know. There's lots of different names. But I just spliced with Lying Eyes out of Left with Alibis and Lying Eyes by Emery, and that's how we got our name.
Okay, so these will be the last two questions. What is the one album that changed your whole world?
The one album that changed my whole world? Oh my gosh, it's so hard because there's so many albums that I love. One album. There's so many bands that I love that I had no idea existed, like, when we started as a band. And mainly one is the shirt that I'm wearing, Alice in Chains. I guess that I would say any one of their albums has changed my outlook on anything. I love that band a lot. And just pretty much, I guess maybe their first album, Facelift, or maybe their second album, Dirt, was really awesome for me to hear. I'm like, oh, I've heard these songs before, like when I'm riding in my mom's car when I'm like 5 years old. Driving in her old blue van. I've heard them before, and then I hear them now, and I'm like, it's nostalgic, and that's the first thing that attached me to the 90s music that I love now. So basically, lots of the first albums that the 90s bands had. A lot of people say that the big four is like Metallica, Anthrax, Slayer, and Megadeth, but the big four for me is more like Alice in Chains, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, R.I.P. Chris Cornell, very unfortunate for that. But and then some people would say Nirvana. I say Stone Temple Pilots. It's all subjective, but I really love all that type of music, so that's kind of my album, even though that was like an overview of bands that I like.
That's an analysis of the 90s. I guess for me personally, the album that changed my just entire outlook would be Hybrid Theory by Linkin Park. That is an album that when I first heard back when I was, I guess like 8 or 9? 2001, so I was...
You were probably younger than that.
The first time I heard it, I was like 8 or 9, and I still listen to that album today. It's an amazing album. It's really well written. The kind of new metal sound that it's like the mixing of like DJ scratches and like super heavy guitar riffs. Like it changed. What's up?
I said Rage did it first.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Okay. Well, touche. But when I heard Hybrid Theory, that's what I got. But yeah, that for me set me on the whole path of like rock music really, and kind of where I still draw a lot of inspiration from that album for what we do now. So yeah, that for me it would definitely be Hybrid Theory.
Just a side note, I'm really interested in what's going to happen over here because I have no idea.
All right, so for me, I've actually never thought about this, and anybody that knows me would be like, oh, country boy, he's gonna talk about Brad Paisley and Garth Brooks, but no, I mean, like I love that shit, obviously, but for me, I think A Fever You Can't Sweat Out by Panic at the Disco would have been the album that really made me a singer and created the voice that I have today, because I mean, Brendan Urie is a phenomenal vocalist. There's nobody that can touch him. He's the Freddie Mercury of our time. But that specifically, just the vocal patterns he uses and the ranges he can hit made me aspire to be as good as him. So that's definitely the album that changed my outlook on music.
For sure. There's so many. I mean, especially nowadays. Thinking back, like when I was a kid, I think what really got me into heavy music was System of a Down, Toxicity. I mean, I just remember my brother playing that through his crappy 90s stereo, like on full blast. But yeah, Toxicity, maybe like Hot Fuss by Killers, Futures, Jimmy Eat World.
Dude, you just crossed under my head. I have to get the mic again.
Coheed and Cambria.
They're like, in this interview we've done.
Crossfade. Sum 41, Green Day. I'll stop.
All right, yeah.
I want to say one more thing. All right, so everything I said was kind of more recent, but what really got me interested in music and what, Silverstein, Discovering the Waterfront. I love that album. I think that's their second album. The first was, I'm drawing a blank on. When Broken is Easily Fixed. But my brother used to show me all that music, and just discovering the Waterfront when Broken is Easily Fixed, that really got me interested in music. And thank you, Silverstein.
What's one question you want to ask your fans?
Do you like us?
Where you at?
Yeah, where are you? Come to our show, see us play. I guess, dude, I don't know. Let me think about it.
Oh man, I was gonna think about it when we were talking. Geesh, that's kind of tough, I guess, because people usually ask us questions. Oh yeah.
All right, so for me, I think the most important question I would have to ask any of our fans is, like, what do you want from us? Like, what can we do to make our music better for you? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, we do what we do for us, and we want to enjoy the outcome of what we do. But, I mean, getting feedback from fans is amazing, and I know I hear people say anything from go back to playing, moshing with mailboxes, your old stuff, to keep progressing and, like, keep becoming this kind of new metal Breaking Benjamin type sound, which, I mean, that's pretty much my only question is, what can we do to better your experience as a With Lying Eyes fan?
My question would be, how did you find us? We have some random fans, dude, like around town. And my question would be, how did you come across us? How did you like click that link randomly, or like how did you hear through us from friends? Like, and how can we, better reach people in that same avenue?
I have a question.
No, I got it.
If it's
If
my
you steal
question.
I guess my question would be, where do you listen to our music like the most frequently? Like, so recently, like I just downloaded Google Play onto my phone, which I never knew existed, but it's amazing. Like I had no clue that was on there. We're on there. I didn't even know that. So like that's awesome. But like, yeah, I guess my question would be, where are you guys like listening to us the most, so that we can figure out like what's working for us and what's not, as far as where we're posting our stuff, I guess. So.
That was my question. No, I'm just kidding. I guess my question would be like, what's your favorite song, or like, what is your favorite thing about us? Is it David's voice? Is it my awesome guitar playing? Is it the drums? Like, what do you like? What has drawn you to us? And for the haters, like, what do you not like? I like the hate. I feel like we don't get enough of that, and I think that will bring more people in. So hate on us.
Thank you guys so much for taking the time to do this with me.
No problem. Thanks.